our bodies were designed to receive things in a whole food. The farther away that it is from the way God created it on this earth, and from an in natural form, heated, processed, it's just not very good for you. So you don't want it, the way man makes it, basically. So, it's a liquid whole food. It's not pasteurized. That's what's really important about this. They do not heat this. What happens when you heat your food?
Well, it denatures all of the proteins and makes it a lot less absorbable.
Right, exactly. It breaks the material down, okay, when you heat it. This is not pasteurized, which is very, very important, and it's very safe. Nothing to worry about with that, okay? This company has an impeccable record, okay? They're all FDA compliant and everything. No more choking on pills. My wife said hallelujah. She was very, very excited that she didn't have to swallow pills anymore. And so what the thing is, she's been consistent every day with it, every single day. So, what is Body Balance? All right, it's simply made from sea vegetation and aloe vera. That is the big thing.
My sea vegetables, and I started including them in my regular diet 2 months ago, and it's been unbelievable.
It's miraculous for many people.
Yeah.
Sea vegetation is full of nutrients, okay? The aloe vera is very, very soothing on the gut. I've had a lot of people, like Mr. Hillman, his wife had such a tremendous change in her digestive tract because of it. And Debbie, the same thing, and we'll tell her story in just a few minutes, is that it's very soothing on the gut. So when I looked at this, I said, this is too good to be true. All this is in there? I mean, way more than this and more. I'm like, holy moly. 121 total nutrients, 121 total nutrients, complete baseline nutrition, 74 minerals. Remember what Linus Pauling said, how important those minerals are to our diet? 23 vitamins, there's antioxidants in there, 21 amino acids, there's vegetable source protein in there, very digestible protein. 11 enzymes. What are the enzymes important for? This is one of the things that breaks down when you heat stuff. The enzymes help you break down and assimilate the food in a form that our body can recognize and use. It has essential fatty acids. And I still recommend the fish oil, okay, for omega-3s, okay, and 6s, but the fat has fatty acids in it. It has 8 glyconutrients, okay. The American diet only gets about 2 of those, and I'll explain what glyconutrients are in a minute and the importance of those. It has nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, natural preservatives in it. Anybody feel a little fizz kind of when you drank it? I mean, that's that nitrogen in there, all right? Why the ocean, all right? It's really important, you have to understand, is that a lot of people say, isn't the ocean dirty? Yes, in some areas it is. They get this sea vegetation from up by Alaska and about 200 feet down in what they call the regeneration zone. It's harvested up there, brought down to the plant in Poway, and they test it. It's tested, it's quarantined, they test it before they even use it. They test it before they use it. They test it after they've made the product. They test it before they bottle the product. It's very, very tested, so there's no impurities in it. It's harvested from 9 of the oldest sea vegetation around. 35% of the Japanese diet is sea vegetation. They have one of the lowest rates of cancer and heart disease and strokes in the world. There's a big reason why they're as healthy as they are, and that's 35% of their diet comes from sea vegetation. So, real quickly, our body fluids, this is really interesting when you understand this. Our body fluids have the same chemical makeup as the sea. Okay, when you look at the pH and the salt content, it's very close to seawater. Okay, that's why this stuff absorbs into our system so well. Sea plant chemical composition is so close to human plasma. Now, what's plasma? Plasma is take away the cells, and the rest of the fluid is plasma. Plasma that perhaps the greatest benefit from sea vegetables is promoting our internal rebalance. Okay, it's a purifier to the ocean. The glyconutrients, real important to understand this. Before the electron microscope, they used to think that it was actually proteins on the outside of cells that talk to each other. So a cell came in contact with another cell in our bodies, and those proteins spoke to each other, and that's how they communicated. Now along came the electron microscope. They found with the electron microscope that, boom, there's something on top of those proteins, sugars. Not the sugars you want to get from your Reese's peanut butter cups, but there's good, healthy sugars that actually are what communicate from one cell to the other. Well, if it's missing one of those, what do you think is going to happen? Will it communicate? It won't communicate properly. Okay, it affects those cell receptors. So there's lots of glyconutrients that are in aloe vera, and it's got to be processed properly too, so that that isn't broken down also. So there's things like glucose, galactose, fructose, mannose. Mannose is very good for bladder issues. I have patients that have told me since they've been using the Body Balance, their bladder problems are better. Okay. There's the American Diet only contains 2 of the 8. Sickness, disease, and dysfunction result from a lack of cell communication. If your cells can't communicate, they're not going to perform correctly. All right. There's also Fucotin. Okay, this is from the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. This is some of the things that they found that this actual compound that's in the Body Balance is good for. It inhibits blood clotting. It helps thin your blood. So I've seen this help with people with blood pressure issues. Decreases level healthy of cholesterol. I have a testimonial of a patient. I think I have it right here. After 6 weeks of using Body Balance, my cholesterol level has gone from 217 to 183, and my T cells have gone from 395 to 700. She's HIV positive. More importantly, my HIV viral load is undetectable now. This has changed her T cells, the healthy immune cells, from basically 400 to 700. That was in 3 months of using it. This affects your immune system. That's why you don't get sick as often. Decreases high blood pressure. We've seen that. There's no promise of cure or anything and stuff like this. We're just saying these are the things that we've seen. I've been amazed that with this product, I've seen from A to Z, people coming in and I'm like, really? All those things have changed? I would hear some of that stuff with, I always hear that stuff with chiropractic, but with the nutrition, with this, I can't believe the changes that we've seen. Helps with the purification of the body. Helps, like I said, with diabetics and pre-diabetics. Anybody can take this. There's very little sugar in it and carbohydrates. It's very, very safe. Children can take it. Inhibits onset of allergies. I told you about my son Griffin and how that's helped with him. Stomach ailments, tremendous changes in stomach issues. In fact, the medical doctor that comes in here to see me, one of them, he said that, since he's been taking because he's on the Body Balance now, says since I've been taking it, he says my irritable bowel syndrome is pretty much gone and I'm off medication for it. Pretty good, right? Enhances the immune system. It works so well, as I said, because the C vegetation is very close to the plasma in our body, and it's just our body recognizes it as something that it can absorb, and it helps for cell regeneration too.